Today I'm going to be working on a 2002 MR2 Spider.
The truth.
Alright, now that I'm back from the trip and all settled in and everything, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start investigating this muffler. So let's go ahead and get this rear bumper off. Looks like a bunch of tabs up top. Probably have some down in the wheel well down here and maybe a couple underneath. So let's go get them all off right quick. Now we'll be taking the rear tire off. There's a bolt and a plastic clip behind here, and you can kind of do it while the tire on, but for making my life easier, I'm going to be taking the tire off. So it looks like there's one bolt up in here. Where is it? Right here with my finger. That's a 10 millimeter. Yeah, I'll take that one out. It's inside the wheel well here. Like I said, you could probably do it with the wheel on, but it's so much easier once the wheel's off to get up in here. And then after you do that one, there are, zoom out a little bit, a couple more on the bottom side of the bumper here. One here. One here, it's going to be the same on the other side as well. Alright, so the next thing is we're going to be taking off these rear taillights. They are held in by two, if I can hold up two 10 millimeter bolts right here and right here. So let's go ahead and get them off. Then we can unplug the taillight itself, and then remove the whole taillight assembly. This is the main plug for the taillight assembly we're going to be removing. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is going to take out these two 10 millimeters right here that were hidden inside the where the taillight was at. And there's, of course, going to be two on the other side as well. Next, be sure to take off the bolts that hold on your license plate. Once you have your license plate off, it exposes this bracket right here. Now finally, there would be another tab right here, but mine is actually zip tied to hold on the oxygen sensor. So I'm just going to be cutting that zip tie, but you probably need to take out that tab if you don't have that. Alright, once you have all the bolts out and the little snap from underneath and the license plate and all that good stuff, we can go up under here in our fender wells, just kind of pop it out, and then should be another one right about here. There it goes. And then very gently, I'm going to be removing the whole bumper off of the car. You saw me fighting with it there for a minute. I was trying to get these guys unplugged for the license plate lights. I guess I could have unscrewed them too, just popped them out that way, but I was just thinking about unplugging them at the time. Also, these clips on the bottom, they were like snagged on the fender well because they clip onto the bumper itself and then they squeeze into the fender well between this spot as well. So they were kind of getting hung up, so you just kind of had to play with them a bit, pop them loose. And the two on that side actually stayed on the wheel well. So I just got to pay attention to that whenever I put it back in. Next, we got 5 of these nuts to take out. They're all 10 millimeter. So they're scattered about. I'll show you the other ones here in just a second. So there's the one there, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 5th one right there. So let's get all those out of there real quick. We're also going to take off the 4 bolts for this brace right here. And there's 2 more up on this side. So let's get those out as well. Alright, just set those aside for now. Next, we can very gently take off our heat shield. Well, that's interesting. I figured there'd be nuts on the top of these 2 bolts, but there's not. So we'll unthread them from the bottom side here in just a minute, and maybe they're threaded down through there. But yeah, I may be missing some hardware on that. If anything, I'll get some nuts and put them on there whenever we put the new muffler on. But let's go ahead and hit those with some PB Blast. I'm going to be working on taking off these hangers. There's one hanger, looks like second hanger down here, and a third hanger right over here. But I don't know how well you can see that. I can zoom in and make it brighter. Look at that hole. There it is. Look at that hole. That is huge. Yeah, there ain't no way I can get that welded. That's definitely gonna have to be a new muffler, so I'm glad I ordered one. I wonder if the vibration caused it to crack, and that's what, well, I don't know. Possibly the vibration from that rod right there caused it to crack and then just opened up that hole. It's a possibility, but yeah, there's no way to weld this. Gonna definitely have to get a new muffler. So I got a new one on order. It's unfortunately not a TRD. I have not been able to find a TRD for sale. So it just kind of is what it is. There we go. Now I got a flashlight on it. You can definitely see those holes a lot better now. And yeah, scaling wise, I can easily stick a finger right in there. Plenty of room to move it around. But what we can do in the meantime is, let's go ahead and hit these with some PB Blast or some kind of penetrating oil. That way they start loosening up, and we'll start working on these hangers here in a minute too, but I want to get these bolts out first. Alright, we're going to let that sit on there for a little bit, and then we're going to hit it with probably my impact gun and break it loose. Alright, let's go ahead and take these 2 out. Then sitting for a while. The penetration oil is actually dried up because it's been so long. But we're going to hit it with my impact gun. Now I know my swivel head there is not an impact swivel, but I don't know where mine is at the moment. So I'm going with a chrome one, and hopefully it doesn't shatter on me. So wish me luck. Alright, so they were threaded on the exhaust side of this. I don't know if my new muffler is also going to be threaded on that same part, so may have to still find some nuts, washers for the ends of these things. So for now, I'm just going to keep them aside. But let's just throw that leaf in there. Let's go ahead and start working on these hangers. Alright, so I just bought these the other day. I've never actually used them before, but these are to help take off the rubber hangers that are on the exhaust right here. So I'll show you how to use them in just a second, but I've seen people use them on other videos, so let's see how well they work. And this is the part number for them. It's a Lyle tool. You can pick it up just about anywhere, but I'll see if I can link to it down below. Alright, so it looks like there's 3 of these all together. There's that one down there, and then the third one right over here. It doesn't look... Oh, I got a 4th one. My bad. It doesn't look like any of the oxygen sensors are in this part of the muffler. I have this one right here, which is on that side, and then my other oxygen sensors right down here. Typically, if you had a catalytic converter, it would go right there, but my state regulations don't require me to have one, so I like to run catless. But if you do, just know that there'll be a cat there. Sometimes you'll have a cat upstream right around the header area as well. Now you may have noticed I am wearing a set of gloves. This thing's kind of rusty, so I really don't... Ew, look at that. I really don't feel like getting cut by this thing, especially with the holes over here and everything. So I did throw on a pair of somewhat cut-resistant work gloves. And something's better than nothing, especially if you're dealing with something this rusty. Alright, so this hanger is kind of the easiest one to show you how these things work. The fork is going to go around the main shaft that you're trying to press out, and the pin on the other side is actually going to push on the opposite side of that shaft. So you're just going to line it up, and then we're going to squeeze it, and it's going to pop it right out. Look at that. Easy, easy, easy. Oh, my shaft got stuck in there. Now, let's go do the other ones really quick. Alright, now I took all the hangers off, and obviously those 2 bolts are out for the exhaust. Let's go ahead and get this whole muffler out of here. Well, that took a lot of finagling, as you can see, but I was able to get it out. As you can see, my oxygen sensors are still connected, the exhaust pipe's still in there, my sway bar's still in there. All I did was kind of just twist it, turn it, and bring it up and around, and I was able to get it all the way out. So hopefully we'll be able to recreate that kind of same maneuver to get it back in with the new one. These things, though, I picked mine up for like 30 bucks. Definitely worth the money, but I've seen them on Amazon for like 20 bucks. So if you're definitely doing a lot of exhaust work, I recommend getting these. It makes it so much easier getting these little rubber grommets off, because I've done it before, but just like a screwdriver, kind of working it in there and like pulling on it and pulling on the exhaust and fighting with it, and this makes it so much easier. Right tool for the right job. Again, I'll link a pair of these down in the description below. Alright, so my new muffler finally arrived, so let's go ahead and open this thing up and check it out. Now, per typical, does come with a sticker. Does have some instructions too. And then I noticed it came with a new hanger as well. So we'll find out where that goes here in just a minute. But let's go ahead and get this whole exhaust unwrapped. Alright, now that it's unwrapped out of that bubble wrap, let's check it out really quick. Looking at the welds, they actually did them pretty good. They look like that all over too. So definitely attention to detail on the welding part. The tips are a lot smaller than my TRD one, so that'll be kind of nice. Not as ricey, I guess you could say. But I like the finish of it. Granted, all you're going to see is just the tip sticking out of the bottom of the car, but overall I like the look. Did notice it's missing a hanger over here that the old one did have, so that could be where this thing might go. I'll take a look at the instructions here in just a second. But overall, yeah, I like the look of it a lot. Just a really quick side-by-side with the old TRD and the new one. I did notice that the TRD weighs a lot more than the new one does. So it will be nice to lose a bit of weight. I'm going to put them on a scale just to see what the exact weight is. But other than that, yeah, it should bolt right up. Hoping that the flange here is at the same angle. We'll check that out in a minute when I start putting it on. But yeah, let's go get this new one on the car right quick. But first, I am going to weigh them just to see what the difference is. Alright, so I just weighed both of them. The TRD is 16 pounds. And the Malian, however you pronounce that, is 13 pounds. So I thought there'd be more of a difference from just picking them up. But it's only a 3-pound difference, but hey, every pound counts. So let's go get this one installed on the car real quick.
Hey, it's a king!
As I was putting the exhaust in, I went ahead and just hung it on the hangers. At least these two. That one for down here doesn't have a hanger anymore on this exhaust because it doesn't come way over. And this one I'm going to hang back on this guy. I don't know why I took it off in the first place. I thought it was going to come out with that muffler, but it definitely does not. So I'll hang that one back in just a second. But I've got this extra hanger right here. And that's what this guy's for. So I'll be sliding this guy on. And I don't know if I'm going to be mounting it down like this or up top like this. I'll see which way fits kind of best for me in my situation. Your situation might be different. But just keep an eye on that. On the test pipe over here, I got to take my little plastic bag off. Just want to make sure no critters or anything got in here while I was waiting for the new exhaust to show up. But I'm going to go ahead and mount this up. This guy is not threaded, so I'm going to have to find some nuts for the end of my bolts. These two. And, ooh, I might get a new one because this one's pretty rusted. But I'll get a couple heavy-duty bolts and a couple heavy-duty nuts. And then we can run it through, clamp it down, and be good on that. So let's do that next. Alright, I did loosen up these two spring bolts right here, just so I have some adjustability in my test pipe here. Because it looks like I'm going to have to pick up on the muffler itself and then swing the test pipe up to match up with it, and then I'll run the bolts in really quick. So you'll see that here in just a second. So I ended up having to run to the hardware store. The bolts that I had originally, one of them is different length than the other, as you can see, but neither one of them are long enough, so I went ahead and got some longer ones. Same thread pitch and everything, but they are a decent bit longer. That's the shorter one. There's a longer one. So it's a little bit longer. just so we can grab onto the threads easier as we put it on the exhaust down here and pull everything up. But I got two the exact same length, so should make things a lot better for me. Alright, so I got the two bolts on with the nuts on the bottom. They're still pretty loose. I am going to go ahead and tighten up the spring bolts back here. Now that I got everything kind of situated. I did disconnect this because it was starting to pull pretty tight. So I'm going to reconnect the oxygen sensor. I think it's upside down. Maybe. Anyway, I'll figure it out in just a second when I can see it better. But yeah, let's go ahead and get everything tightened up. And then I'm going to figure out where to put this mount as well. I don't even know where I set it. Oh, there it is. Right here. I think I'm going to put it through this hole and then just run it onto this guy. But we'll see. We'll see if I can mount it anywhere else. I still got room to adjust things. So we'll see how things go. So I've run into a bit of a problem with this bracket trying to mount it here. My problem is I can't get it all the way on there because it hits the muffler. I don't know if it's something that just maybe got bent in shipping, but I may try and get a pry bar on it and just kind of bend it back out just a hair to get this bracket on there so I can bolt it here, or may just kind of leave it as is because it's actually pretty solid up in here. So we'll see what I end up doing. I'm going to try and wipe away as many fingerprints as I can because when the exhaust heats up, it will like burn the oil from your fingertips into the steel if there's any left. So just try and clean it all up the best you can. Especially the chips, because that's what everybody's really going to see. So my only issue so far is like super close between the tips and my oxygen sensor here. We'll see if they rub at all. I may have to wrap it in some like exhaust tape or something. So I tried to bend this guy. It is extremely hard to bend. So I think I'm just going to leave this bracket off. If I have any issues, I'll probably figure out a way to mount it. But I can't even like open this up because they welded it shut right there. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you guys have any ideas how I could get it on there and do like that number with it. It's kind of at an odd angle too if I mount it right there, so it'd have to be like there or something. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to leave it off. So next, let's put these little brackets back on here. There we go. Get them bolted in place. Remember, it's just got a little nut up here, and then it's got the bolt down here. Alright, so it is a new day. So if you notice there's a change in my clothes, that's why. But, you know, with other commitments in life, like work and family and all that good stuff, can't always devote 100% of my time to the cars, unfortunately. But hopefully I'll get this thing back together today and get it back on the road. But since I've got the exhaust all hooked up, let's go ahead and give it a start. And hopefully the battery's not dead. If it does, we'll have to jump it. I mainly just want to check for any exhaust leaks that I may notice around this connection and the one down there. That one down there. So let's fire it up and see what happens. Well, just as I thought, battery's dead. Let's get it jumped off the Mazda really quick. shut it off for now. I didn't notice any leaks on either one of the connections, so that is a good sign. It has been a while since the thing ran, so I did have a bit of a hard time starting it, but after I got running for a minute, it smoothed right out. So I actually messed up. Need to take these back off really quick and put the heat shield on first. Make sure it fits. I'm not sure if it will with this pipe right here, but we're going to give it a try. But after that, then we'll put these two on. All right, now let's see if we can get this heat shield back on. Looks like it should fit. Just want to check clearance on it really quick. Alright, so everything looks like it fits on there. Let's go ahead and get this thing bolted in. I think there's 5 bolts on it, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, now that our heat shield's back on, now we can go ahead and put these little bars back in place. Alright, so next we're going to be putting the bumper back on. Remember, when you get it up there, just go ahead and plug your lights back in. And then we can rest the bumper kind of in the engine bay kind of area there. Now this is on both sides, but just make sure this tab is resting on top of the bar here, and this little tab is resting on the outside of this bar here. I'm going to go ahead and put one of these pins in just so the bumper doesn't drop. But, there we go. That way she's not going anywhere. But I'm going to go ahead and start working on the corners here, and the corner on the other side, and then kind of work my way towards the middle. So something I noticed underneath the rear of the car here, there's these 3 plastic like trim pieces. Looks like one there, one right here in the middle. I don't know if I can show you. There's one right here in the middle, and there's one on the passenger side too. There's one right here too. Just be careful with those. They do need to go underneath the bumper here. I was having a hard time getting the actual bumper to sit right, and then I found out these 3 needed to sit underneath, and then everything kind of fit into place. So next I'm going to throw in these 3 bolts. I got 1, 2, and I'm going to put one in the wheel well up there. Now we're going to be doing the same thing on the driver's side. So those 3 tabs that I was showing you a minute ago on the bottom side down here, I'm going to go ahead and put some of these little plastic clips in. I got this whole kit from Harbor Freight the other day, and it comes with a bunch of different sizes and different styles. So I'm just going to find 3 that fit those holes down there and put them in those holes. Alright, before we put the taillights back in, just want to point out it's got this little tab right here. It fits in this little white clip right down here. Once you get that locked in, it just kind of rests down into place, and then we can bolt it in place. And don't forget the plug on the back side as well. Now we're going to do the exact same thing to the driver's side. I always like to double check that my lights and everything still work after, unplugging them and plugging them back in. So, let's check it out really quick. Alright, as you can see, the lights are working, so that's a good sign. Also, don't forget to mount your license plate back up too. Now the corner of each bumper, don't forget there's 2 bolts that go in here as well. Now finally, just going to run down the row here and put all of our plastic clips in. Alright, I did throw a couple new ones in. Pretty much just on the edges. But let's go ahead and get this car back on the ground. Now I do have some discoloration here from where the old muffler was kicking out exhaust and heating up this really bad. So it looks like I'm going to have to take that to a paint shop and get them to fix it. Alright, let's go ahead and get these rear tires back on. Alright, let's get the car back down on the ground and take it around the block, see what it sounds like. We're cruising about 2,500 RPMs. It's really not that loud, so I'm kind of happy with that. The TRD would kind of drone on, but we'll get it up in the higher RPMs here in just a second and see what it's like. Alright, well I hope those sound clips came out alright. Screaming down the road about 8,000 RPMs, it really is loud. Especially when it hits the variable valve timing, it gets like ear-deafening loud. But it is fun. The car seems to like it. I have good acceleration and everything, so that's always a plus. So we're gonna get it home and yeah, put it in the garage. Well, watch out for the next video because it looks like I'm gonna have to be cutting the muffler. I thought it was going to be far enough away, but apparently when it settles a bit higher up. So, yeah, I'll be taking the muffler off and cutting it some. That'll be fun. Well, that'll be another video. Stay tuned. Alright, I really want to thank you all for watching. Well, I hope this video helps. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try and answer them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed any of the background music that's in any of these videos, check out the artist's SoundCloud. I put a link in the description.